We are here at Square Enix talking about the upcoming MMORPG Wakfu. And Franko, I think we have to first talk about what this word means.
Well, Wakfu is a type of energy. It's like movement and life. The opposite end of that spectrum is stasis, which would be death. And there's really a lot that goes on into balancing it within this game. So it's not good versus evil. There's a dichotomy when it comes to the game itself where it's very cute, it's very lively, but at the same time, you're balancing the ecosystem and you're killing different animals, and you might be wearing a particular animal's armor piece or bunny slippers that you actually got from bunny type creatures.
Wakfu is a property that already exists, not necessarily as an MMO, but in many other forms. Can you tell us about the developers of this title and why people should know about this?
Sure. So the developers named Ankama, they're based out of France, and the Wakfu franchise or IP itself is actually pretty huge. It involves an anime, it involves merchandise, it involves a trading card game, and of course the MMO. And the MMO itself takes place 1,000 years after the Age of Dofus, which is another title that was developed by Ankama. It takes place on the same game world. It's 1,000 years later, there's been this huge catastrophe, a calamity, and the game characters are really charged with finding out, hey, what happened? How do we prevent this from happening in the future? So there's a lot that goes into the ecosystem of the game and the politics as players discover how do we work with each other to prevent this from happening again.
We have to talk about the gameplay style because we know it's a turn-based tactical MMO.
Right.
How is this going to work for people when they pick up the game and play it?
Well, it's going to start pretty similar to other tactics-based games where you're going to go ahead and start with positioning your character. But where it gets really interesting is where you have a large group of characters versus another group. There's going to be a pretty heavy PvP element. In turns, we're going to allow 30 seconds for people to decide what their action is going to be, which will keep things moving along. But there's going to be combat bonuses if you finish your turn faster. So that's going to really turn the tide and determine who's going to be victorious.
How would you describe the art style and the graphics within this game?
Well, the art style is phenomenal. It's inspired by Japanese anime, as you can see. There's a lot of humor in the game as well, which is really involved into the ecosystem. And there's some really funny animations that go along with that. There's actually cats cough up a fur ball and then start batting it around and mess around with that. And it's that attention to detail that shows the studio that's developing this title that they really care.